Psalm 92, Part 1 of Expositions on the Book of Psalms, Volume 4. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Expositions on the Book of Psalms, Volume 4, Psalms 76 to 101, by St. Augustine of Hippo. Psalm 92. A Sermon to the People, preached on Saturday. 1. Listen to the psalm. May the Lord grant to us to open the mysteries herein contained, whiles that for remedy of weariness they are diversely and variously explained. For God teacheth us no other hymn but that of faith, hope, and charity, that our faith may be firm in himself, as long as we do not see him, believing in him whom we do not see, that we may rejoice when we see him, and the appearance of his light may succeed to our faith, when it will no longer be said to us, Believe what thou seest not, but rejoice that thou seest. Let our hope also be immutable, and fixed in him. Let it not totter and fluctuate, let it not be tossed about, as God himself, in whom it is fixed, cannot be tossed. For now it is called hope, but then it will not be hope, but reality. For as long as that which is hoped is not seen, is it called hope. In the Apostle's words, But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Patience then only is needful, until what is promised shall come. But no one is patient in a good estate. When patience is required of a man, he is in adversity. When it is said, Be patient, endure, sustain, it is trouble, under which God wills thee to be courageous, enduring, of long suffering, patient. But does he who promised deceive in aught? The physician draws his knife to cut the wound, and says to him who he is about to cut, Be patient, sustain, endure. In pain he demands patience, but after it he promises health. And he who endures pain under the physician's knife, unless he sets before his mind the health which he has not yet, fails under the pain which he suffers. There are therefore many evils in this world. Within and without they never cease. Stumbling blocks abound. No one feels them, except he who treads the path of God. He is told in all the pages of divine Scripture to endure the present, hope for the future, love whom he seeth not, that he may embrace him when he seeth him. For charity, which is joined in the third place to faith and hope, is above faith and hope, because faith is of things which are not seen, but it will be sight when they shall be seen. And hope is of what is not possessed, which, when the thing itself reaches us, will not be any longer hope, because we shall possess it, not hope for it. But charity knoweth not but to increase more and more. For if we love whom we see not, how shall we love when we see him? Let then our longing increase. We are not Christians except on account of a future life. Let no one hope for present blessings. Let no one promise himself the happiness of the world, because he is a Christian. But let him use the happiness he hath, as he may, in what manner he may, when he may, as far as he may. When it is present, let him give thanks for the consolation of God. When it is wanting, let him give thanks to the divine justice. Let him always be grateful, never ungrateful. Let him be grateful to his Father, who soothes and caresses him, and grateful to his Father when he chasteneth him with the scourge, and teacheth him, for he ever loveth, whether he caress or threaten. And let him say what ye have heard in the Psalm, verse 1, It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing praises unto thy name, thou most highest. 2. This psalm is entitled, A Psalm to be Sung on the Sabbath Day. Lo, this day is the Sabbath, which the Jews at this period observe by a kind of bodily rest, languid and luxurious. They abstain from labors, and give themselves up to trifles, and though God ordained the Sabbath, they spend it in actions which God forbids. Our rest is from evil works, theirs from good. For it is better to plow than to dance. They abstain from good, but not from trifling works. God proclaims to us a Sabbath. What sort of Sabbath? First, consider where it is. It is in the heart, within us, for many are idle with their limbs, while they are disturbed in conscience. Every bad man cannot have a Sabbath, for his conscience is never at rest. He must needs live in turmoil. But he who has a good conscience is tranquil, and that very tranquillity is the Sabbath of the heart. For it listeneth to the promises of the Lord, and if it toils in the present time, it expands in the hope of the future, and every cloud of sorrow is calmed, as the Apostle saith, rejoicing in hope. That very joy in the tranquillity of our hope is our Sabbath. This is the subject of praise and of song in this psalm, how a Christian man is in the Sabbath of his own heart, that is, in the quiet, tranquillity, and serenity of his conscience, undisturbed. Hence he tells us here whence men are wont to be disturbed, and he teaches thee to keep Sabbath in thine own heart. 3. The first thing is, that thou thyself, if thou hast made any advancement, praise God for that wherein thou hast advanced, because it is a gift, and not thy deserving. Hence begin the Sabbath, by not attributing these gifts to thyself, as if thou hadst not received what thou hast received, nor excusing thyself for the evil that thou doest, because it is thy own. For perverse and agitated men, who do not keep Sabbath, ascribe their evil deeds to God, their good ones to themselves. If he hath done aught of good, he saith, I did it. If of evil, he seeketh whom he may accuse, that he may not confess to God. And what is this? He seeketh whom he may accuse? If he is not very wicked, he hath Satan at hand to accuse. He saith, Satan did it, he persuaded me, as if Satan had the power of compelling him. He hath indeed cunning in persuading, but if Satan were speaking, and God were silent, thou wouldst have an occasion for self-excuse, but thy ears are between God admonishing and the serpent suggesting. Why are they turned in one direction, and turned away from the other? Satan ceaseth not to persuade evil, but neither doth God cease to admonish us to good. But Satan doth not compel thee against thy will. It is in thy power to consent, or not to consent. If thou hast done anything wrong by Satan's persuasion, dismiss Satan, accuse thyself, that by thy self-accusation thou mayest deserve the mercy of God. Dost thou wish to accuse one whom hath no pardon? Accuse thyself, and thou receivest indulgence. Besides, many do not accuse Satan, but their fate. My fate led me, saith one. When you ask him, why did you do it? Why did you sin? He replies, by my evil fate. Lest he should say, I did it, he points to God as the source of his sin. With his tongue he blasphemes. He saith not this indeed openly as yet, but listen and see that he saith this. Ye ask of him what is fate, and he replies, evil stars. You ask, who made, who appointed the stars? He can only answer, God. It follows then that whether he doth so directly or indirectly, still he accuseth God, and when God punisheth sins, he maketh God the author of his own sins. It cannot be that God punishes what he hath wrought. He punisheth what thou doest, and that he may set free what he hath wrought. But sometimes, setting aside everything else, they attack God directly. When they sin, they say God willed this. If God had not willed it, I should not have sinned. Does he warn thee for this, that not only he may not be listened to keep thee from sin, but even be accused because thou dost sin? What then doth this psalm teach us? It is a good thing to confess unto the Lord. What is to confess unto the Lord? in both cases, both in thy sins, because thou hast done them, and in thy good works confess unto the Lord, because he hath done them. Then shalt thou sing unto the name of God the most highest, seeking the glory of God, not thine own, his name, not thine. For if thou seekest the name of God, he also seeketh thy name. But if thou hast neglected the name of God, he also doth blot out thine. But how did I say he seeketh thy name? As he said to his disciples when they came after he sent them to preach the gospel. After they had wrought many miracles, and had cast out devils in the name of Christ, they said on their return, Lord, even the devils are subject to us in thy name. They said indeed in thy name, but he saw in them that they were rejoicing in their glorification, and were puffing up themselves with pride, because they had power given them to drive out devils. He saw that they were seeking their own glory, and said to them, seeking and indeed keeping in store their names in himself, In this rejoice not, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. Behold, where thou hast a name, if thou neglect not the name of God. Sing, therefore, on the psaltery, unto the name of God, that thy name may be stablished before God. But what is a psaltery, my brethren? It is a kind of instrument which has strings. Our work is our song. Whoever does good works playeth with a psaltery unto God. Whoever confesses with the mouth, singing unto God. Sing therefore with thy mouth, play unto him with thy works. For what purpose? 4, verse 2. To tell of thy mercy early in the morning, and of thy truth in the night season. What is the meaning of this, that the mercy of God is to be told us in the morning, and in the night the truth of God? The morning is when it is well with us, the night the sadness of tribulation. What then did he say in brief? When thou art prosperous, rejoice in God, for it is his mercy. Now perhaps thou wouldst say, if I rejoice in God when I am prosperous, because it is his mercy, what am I to do when I am in sorrow, in tribulation? It is his mercy when I am prosperous. Is it then his cruelty when I am in adversity? If I praise his mercy when it is well with me, am I then to exclaim against his cruelty when it is ill? No, but when it is well, praise his mercy. When ill, praise his truth, because he scourgeth sins. He is not unjust. Daniel was in the night season when he was praying, for he was in the captivity of Jerusalem. He was in the power of enemies. Then the saints suffered many evils. Then he himself was cast into the den of lions. Then the 3 children were thrown into the fire. The people of Israel suffered these evils in the captivity. It was the night season. During the night, Daniel confesseth the truth of God. He said in his prayer, We have sinned and committed iniquity, and have done wickedly. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of face. He told of the truth of God during the night season. What is it to tell of the truth of God in the night season? Not to accuse God because thou sufferest aught of evil, but to attribute it to thy sins, his correction, to tell of his loving kindness early in the morning, and of his truth in the night season. When thou dost tell of his loving kindness early in the morning, and of his truth in the night season, thou dost always praise God, always confess to God, and sing unto his name. 5, verse 13. Upon a psaltery of 10 strings, with a song, and upon the harp. Ye have not heard of the psaltery of 10 strings for the first time. It signifies the 10 commandments of the law. But we must sing upon that psaltery, and not carry it only. For even the Jews have the law, but they carry it, they sing not. Who are they who sing? Those who work. This is but little. Those who work in a sullen spirit do not yet sing. Who are they who sing? Those who do well with cheerfulness, for there is cheerfulness in singing. And what saith the apostle? For God loveth a cheerful giver. Whatever thou doest, do with cheerfulness, then thou dost a good work and well. But if thou doest it in sullenness, it is done with thee, thou dost it not, and thou rather carriest the instrument. Thou dost not sing. Upon a psaltery of 10 strings, with a song, and upon the harp. This means in word and deed, with a song, in word, upon the harp, in work. If thou speakest words alone, thou hast, as it were, the song only, and not the harp. If thou workest and speakest not, thou hast the harp only. On this account both speak well and do well, if thou wouldst have the song together with the harp. 6. Verse 4. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy works, and I will rejoice in giving praise for the operations of thy hands. Ye see what he saith, Thou hast made me living well, thou hast formed me. If by chance I do aught of good, I will rejoice in the work of thy hands. As the Apostle saith, For we are his workmanship, created unto good works. For unless he formed thee to good works, thou wouldst not know any works but evil. He who speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. This the gospel saith. Every sin is a lie, for everything that is against the law and against truth is called a lie. What then doth he say? He that speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. That is, he that sinneth, sinneth of his own. Observe the sentence in converse. For if he who speaketh a lie speaketh of his own, it follows that he who speaketh the truth speaketh from God. Therefore it is said in another place, Let God be true, but every man a liar. Thou art not told in this passage, Go, lie without fear, as thou art a man. Nay, behold thyself a man, because thou liest. And that thou mayest be true, drink in truth, and thou mayest break forth of God, and that thou mayest be true. Because thou canst not have truth from thy own self. It remains that thou drink it thence whence it floweth. As if thou hast gone back from the light, thou art in darkness. As a stone glows not with its own heat, but either from the sun or fire, and if thou withdraw it from the heat it cools, there it appears that the sun was not its own, but became heated either by the sun or by fire. Thus thou also, if thou withdraw from God, wilt become cold. If thou approach God, thou wilt warm, as the Apostle saith, fervent in spirit. Also what saith he of the light? If thou approach him, thou wilt be in light. Therefore saith the psalm, Look upon him and be lightened, and your faces shall not be ashamed. Because therefore thou canst do no good, unless lightened by the light of God, and warmed by the Spirit of God. When thou shalt see thyself working well, confess unto God, and say what the Apostle saith, Say unto thyself that thou be not puffed up. For what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory as if thou hadst not received it? Here therefore he praiseth God, and teacheth us a good confession. Thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy works, and I will rejoice in giving praise for the operations of thy hands. 7. What are we to say of those who live bad but prosperous lives? For hence he who loveth the Sabbath hath a disturbed mind, for he seeth himself daily engaged in good works, and toiling in narrow circumstances, perhaps in family poverty, perhaps in hunger, thirst, and nakedness, perhaps doing good works in prison, and the man who sent him into prison living a wicked life, and glorifying in it. A most wicked thought against God entereth his heart, and he saith, God, wherefore do I serve thee? Why do I obey thy words? I have not seized another goods, I have not committed theft, I have not slain a man. I have not coveted any man's possession. I have not borne false witness against anyone. I have not done disrespect to my father or mother. I have not bowed down before idols. I have not taken the Lord's name in vain. I have kept myself from sin. He enumerates the 10 strings, that is, the 10 precepts of the law, and questioneth himself in each, and seeth that he hath not sinned, not in one, and he is sorrowful that he suffereth such evils. And those who, I do not say touch some of the strings, but touch not even the psaltery itself, and work no good, consult idols, and perhaps then appear Christians, when their family suffereth no evil. But when there is any tribulation, there they run to some soothsayer, diviner, or astrologer. Christ's name is repeated before him. He sneers and screws his mouth. It is said to him, Believer, dost thou consult an astrologer? He replieth, Begone from me. He discovered to me my goods, which I had otherwise lost, and remained in wailing. Good man, dost thou not sign thyself with the cross of Christ? Even the law prohibits all these things. Rejoicest thou that thou hast found thy goods? Art they not sad that thou art thyself lost? How much better would it be that thy coat should perish than thy soul? He sneers at all this. He is insulting to his parents. He hateth his enemy. He pursueth him even unto death. He stealeth when he hath found opportunity, or ceaseth not to bear false witness. He layeth wait against his neighbour's wife. He coveteth his neighbour's goods. He doeth all these things, and flourisheth in riches and honours and the good things of this world. That wretched man who doeth good and suffereth evils seeth him, becometh disturbed, and saith, O God, the wicked, I imagine, please thee, and thou hatest the good, and lovest those who work iniquity. If he is excited and consenteth to this thought, he will lose the Sabbath from his heart. He now beginneth not to listen to the psaltery. He hath departed, thence he singeth without reason. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most Highest. The Sabbath being now lost in the inner man, and the tranquillity of his heart being shut out, and good thoughts repelled, he now beginneth to imitate him whom he seeth flourishing amid his evil deeds, and turneth himself also to evil works. But God is long-suffering, because he is eternal, and he knoweth the day of his own judgment, where he weigheth all things. End of Psalm 92, Part 1.